Stratton played hockey growing up with the Kelsey brothers.
What?
Really? Wow.
Let's bring in one of the greats, I believe the only person to play with both Bernard Purdy and Mike Modano. You know him from his solo stuff. You know him from Vulfpeck. You know him from Team Wong in the crazy game of hockey. You also know him from Wong on Ice. Cory Wong, thank you so much for joining us. You could not, I don't know if you know anything about our show. You are the most perfect guest imaginable. So thank you for being here.
Hey, man, I'm stoked to be here. Long time coming. Glad we got it worked out.
You are stoked to be here because you get to be on a hockey show right now. You're a Wild guy. Wild get Quinn Hughes. You went to the debut. Your seats were absolutely choice. You saw the Wild take belt to ass of the Bruins. How does it feel right now to be a Wild fan?
It feels pretty good. I gotta apologize to your partner in crime there. I didn't think we were going to put the type of beat down that we did last night, but it was a fun game. It's a great time to be a Wild fan. You know, there's been a lot of years of ups and downs, and hopefully we're going to get ourselves closer to the prize here. It's feeling honestly really good.
You should. I mean, Quinn Hughes is unbelievable. Generational talent. We've like hammered the Wild a little bit over the past handful of years for being so fucking boring and not really doing anything of substance. Mm-hmm. So, like, would you consider that to be fair and accurate leading up to the past few years? And at this point, like, what's the level of excitement for where this team is at right now and where they're headed?
I mean, I think what's happened is there's been a lot of people since the Parise Suter thing. We've made a bunch of softer moves, quote unquote, and this year feels like, well, in the last 18 months or something, it's like we made some bigger moves and really making some bigger steps. So the vibes are so high. The vibes at Grand Casino Arena, still weird to say that, by the way, still the X in my heart.
Yeah.
Vibes were so high. It feels so good. The talk around town, it just feels great. We're making big moves, and you know, it's like one of those things where at what point do you really try to make a move for it? And it feels like, oh, we're doing this. We're doing this now. Now we're going for it. So it feels good. I mean, I've loved the team. There's been some trades that were like, oh, that's tough to see, and then it happens, and you're like, okay, cool, whatever. Like, there's a lot of kind of fan favorites that we've traded away. I think the most current being Buyum, and I think Rossi was a likable guy too. I liked Hutzadinov. It was fun to see him last night in the building again. He just fun guy, a hard worker. I mean, I remember when he was on the Wild, he was going hard every shift, and it felt like, you know, he was. I remember him coming in, watching his first game with the Wild, just like, oh, Scat's going to be coming in and doing work, and he really was putting in the work. And who was it? We traded him in Lauco.
Yeah,
for
Brazo.
Lauco.
For Brazo. Yeah, we're big Lauco. He plays like video games with Lauco. Is that? Yeah. Oh no, just like Lauco liked you on social media.
Yeah, and like we made plans to play video games, never ended up happening. But he's an awesome guy. Still miss him stateside, but I was happy to get him back. And Hutzadinov, I did not expect a Hutzadinov pull in this interview. Off to a strong start. I like that guy a lot.
Yeah, I love him. It was great, and it was fun. They had a little welcome back to the state of hockey. They showed him on the screen. He was smiling, and you know, he was one of those people that was kind of he seems very likable. He was a cool dude, and I really like the guy. I really like.
You mentioned the Parise Suter thing. How different does this feel than that? Because I brought up today, like, I hope no Wild fan, like if you're a Wild fan and are anything but ecstatic today, you're out of your mind. But like, they have done the like, we will build a team around 2-star players thing, but this isn't a Parise Suter thing. With respect to those two players, like, you're now with the Avalanche and the Oilers in terms of how does that team have both of those players? So, like, does this seem that much better than what that was?
In my eyes, yes. I wasn't as deep in the game when Parise Suter, when that thing went down, like I wasn't following as close, but it feels, I mean, the obvious thing that people are saying is like, oh, is this going to be a McKinnon-McCarr thing? And honestly, I would say almost beyond that too, because one thing that I think, one player in particular that I think will prove to be more complete than a casual fan might know is Boldy. I mean, we have Boldy as well, who's just like insane talent, and you know, we actually have a lot more depth than, like, obviously the thing that people are talking about is Kaprizov and Hughes, but you know, we have Faber and Boldy. We have a lot of great players that I think are going to do huge for this team.
And lest everyone forget, they traded for David Jiricek last year. Like that was like the like, ooh, okay, like they're starting to position themselves to have the next harmony. I think that Bouillon is going to be a loss, and it's why I'm trying to tell Canucks fans it's not that bad, even though it's fucking miserable for them right now. Like Bouillon's a loss, but we're a big get the player show where, like, especially if it seems like he's going to be willing to resign. And even if he doesn't, like, this is the caliber of player that you make that push for. So I absolutely love it. I'm looking at my notes right now. I'm furious at myself. I meant to say you're the Stamkos of the Stratocaster. I meant to say that with respect, because that's what you called Dave Cause the Sultan of Smooth.
That's right.
And I was like, fuck, I need to think of like a Cory Wong-esque nickname for Cory Wong. Stamkos of the Strat came up.
I like that.
Who would you like liken your guitar playing to in terms of NHL players? Is Stamkos a good comp? Because you're like, I mean, I think of, are you like a modern, dare I say, because you're like that, like elite, like perfect rhythm player who obviously can shred, but doesn't always choose to. So, like, what is that in hockey terms? Or is that even an apt summary?
Well, I think inherently, because people separate rhythm and lead guitar, the rhythm guitar might be immediately compared more to a defenseman than a forward. So, dare I say, you know, in our generation, as far as people that focus on rhythm guitar, I might just go with our boy Hughes. I'm going to put points on the board. I'm going to crash the net. I'm going to play lead when I got to, but I'm going to hold down the rhythm section and make sure that thing feels good.
It's not a good comp because I've seen too many pictures of you. You smile.
That is true.
You're so cheery.
Personality. Well, I mean, I don't know the cat. I mean, he's locked in. I don't know what. It's different vibe, you know. We all got to do what we got to do to get in the zone.
Do you want to talk some of like the hockey / music thing? What is your hockey background? Because you can obviously play, as we saw in Wong on Ice and in the crazy game of hockey. But like, did you just grow up playing?
I mean, yeah, I grew up in the Twin Cities in Minnesota, so it's like basically part of your phi ed, you know. So, you know, we're not Canada, but it's about as close as you get, where it's kind of just what you do after school. The rink right across the street, like in the backyard of the elementary school. Like, oh, you want to go do this thing, or you want to just go home, or we all get the boys together and meet up at the warming house and put on the skates and get out and play. You know, and we play pond hockey. I mean, just literally right half a block away. Just go out to the boat launch here, and we got pond hockey going already, and we got outdoor rinks just kind of everywhere. I mean, I'm within a 2-minute drive of where I'm at. There's 4 or 5 rinks, you know, with a warming house, a couple of them being nicer than others, but it's great. Community of people hanging out, kids, adults, everybody just kind of playing together, having a good time.
In addition to your hockey prowess and also a musician, if folks don't know, Cory also does that. You, before we had the word content creator, were like a very, very gifted content creator, and you just felt a little ahead of the curve kind of on everything, where you would produce things that I'd be like, Cory Wong just made this video. I don't know how he made this video, but this is the sickest video I've ever seen in the world. And my music friends were like, this is unbelievable. And my non-music friends were like, who is this guy? And specifically, like, 2021, I feel like you've been doing it for a minute at that point, but in 2021, you did Wong on Ice, which was a music and hockey hybrid performance in which you put the band on skates and just played songs, played hockey. Sean just threw up the video now. It's unbelievable. Just going back and forth with the band. You got Sonny T sitting on a Zamboni, just absolutely ripping it. I love that you got your keys player wearing a helmet as he's playing the organ. It's such a funny aesthetic, but it's also a sick video and a sick performance. What made you think to do that? Is it just that you're a musician from Minnesota?
I mean, it's that plus like Disney on Ice. You know, it's like there's these funny like entertainment things. And I'm always trying to think of like what's something entertaining that we could do that's not just like, because I think in the genre that I do, especially with like the albums I make, I have singers and I have featured guests and that sort of thing. But a lot of times with my band, it's instrumental music. The majority, like if you see me at a festival, it's mostly instrumental music. So a lot of the people that do what I do, they take themselves so seriously. And also it's just like they get up there and they just kind of play the music and don't really think about how the performance aspect of it translates to an audience. And for me, I think it's fun to deliver at the highest level of excellence musically, but also to give a really compelling and interesting performance to it. And it's like, how can we stretch the bounds of what we're doing? Is it playing on tiny instruments? Cool. That's like an element. Can we make something really compelling with instruments that are all really tiny? And is it, trying to make like I did a variety show, where I kind of made my own late night show, setting that sort of thing up. Can we make something compelling that way? And this was like, feels like a fun Minnesota winter thing. I've never done like a Christmas album or anything. It's like, here's my winter offering. And I'll tell you what, the hardest part was not convincing my band and not doing it. The hardest part was actually getting ice time in the winter in Minnesota where they would let us bring all my stuff out there. They're like, you have 3 hours. We'll give you 3 hours of ice time. Like you cannot be there a minute before, a minute after. So we had 3 hours to set everything up, film it all, and get it all off of there. So it was more just like, this would be fun to do. I have no idea if it will work. Most of the guys, well, I'd say about half my band is from Minnesota. So some of them were familiar with skating and playing some hockey. Others had just like never been on skates before. You could see a lot of the cats on rental skates. It's like, it's pretty funny, but everybody was down. Everybody was having a good time with it. I just thought, yeah, it's going to be great. We'll see if the instruments stay in tune on the ice. They did for the most part.
You also play in the crazy game of hockey with the OAR guys. And I've seen videos from it, but I looked at the 2023 roster of Team Wong. And that roster was stacked. In addition to Cory Wong, Mike Madonna, Hillary Knight, Jason Zucker, Drew Stafford, Bruins killer Thomas Vanek, Nicholas Backstrom. There were killers on there. What's it like playing with like Mike Madonna, especially when, Sean, if you have the video, at timeouts, Cory was playing music from the bench. And I'm just wondering what Mike Madonna was thinking during that, as we're going to get demonetized to the high heavens with all these videos because right now Damn It is playing. But like, what's that like for you where you're like, I'm next to Mike Madonna and I just got to do a quick little blink right now?
I mean, I knew it was going to be fun for them because it's a charity game, but also any of those cats that have played at that level, there's like some level of assassin that you can't take out of them. So, like when it gets as soon as it gets a tiny bit competitive, they turn it on in a little bit of a different way. For me, in the realm of being on skates next to them, I'm just like, there's no training there's no 6-month program that I can do that will prepare me to be like, even, next to cats that are on the Wild now. Like, I think the Wild team members that were on my team were Hartman, Spurgeon, Merrill. And the other team had Boldy, and I don't remember who exactly. I don't remember who all were current players that were on the team, but it's like, I'm not going to be able to keep up. So I'm just going to, I'm not really going to prepare other than make sure that I'm in shape, and having a good time. They didn't expect me to. It's not like they were disappointed in like, oh man, you should have known where to be here or there. It's like, dude, I can't keep up with you guys no matter what. And the thing I can bring to the table is vibes on the bench. And if that means shredding some Blink 182 or some Nirvana with my band. So my band was also there as like the pep band, and I was playing wireless from the bench. It was pretty fun.
I'm glad you mentioned the vibes, because to me, it seems like you are an incredible curator of like vibes and aesthetics. So I'm just curious, like, what are your, like, say 3 staples or must-haves for curating a vibe?
Oof. As far as curating the vibe, because if you're in a situation where it's already a good rapport, that requires less maintenance. But if the vibes are low, like you've been around a locker room that's down in the dumps, or even just in a group of friends where it feels like you're hurting. It requires something different. But I think there's a certain amount of reckless abandon. You got to be okay making a fool of yourself. You got to be okay with some people latching onto it and some people being like, what is this guy doing, man? Come on. Can't you see we're like trying to be bummed out right now? Like, okay, yeah. Like, I'll get to you. And you have to be kind of just fine knowing that that's part of it and not care. Just be fine. Just sticking to it and having a reckless abandon to commit to being somebody who's going to lighten the mood. You have to understand that there's different dynamics of people and leadership. Like, is my time right now to take the moment, or have I done enough and now it's time for me? Like, oh, I'll be quiet now. I've said enough. Like there's some level of knowing when to step up to it and when to be quiet as well.
But say it's a solo mission. Like, say you're trying to enter into like a zone, whether it's at your house, at a studio, or whatever. Like, what are you doing to enter into the zone?
For me, getting into the zone is first off understanding the intention of the big picture. Like, am I going in here to make an album? What am I trying to say with this album? Am I trying to make a really deep statement with the album? That requires me to get in the zone in a certain way, to tap into the depths of maybe parts of myself that I'm uncomfortable with. If I'm just going in there trying to make a banger that's fun and trying to just deliver hard-hitting, fun banger tune or recording, it's just like, all right, we're locking in. I'm coming in. We're ready to crush this thing. I'm coming in with this level of I have to pull in the confidence thing, where something that's trying to get deep and introspective, getting into the zone is way less about anything physical, and it's much more about, okay, I need to find what the intention is of the art that we're making, and I need to lock into that. Because I'll often see it in performers where it's like they're performing something that feels like it could be really deep, like it could be channeling the depths of the human core, and somebody on stage is just like, yeah. It's like, no, you're kind of taking me out of it. And like you're saying, I'm good vibes guy. I'm cheery, fun guy. But there's a time and a place where it's like, okay, but right now we need to lock into this thing. Like, this is the intention of what we're trying to do. The art that we're making actually requires me to have a different physical presence along with the presence of my music.
Have you ever thought of where you would be if you did not have the attitude that you have? Because, like, I think that if someone says, who's Cory Wong, I send them the Dave Koz video where you basically harassed supermarket sweeps legend Dave Koz into just like being in your world. And I said supermarket sweeps legend, but Dave Koz is a prolific saxophone player who was very big in the 90s, just smooth as hell. And you made a video talking about how you love Dave Koz and you want to play with him and you want him to like indoctrinate you into the smooth jazz scene. And you just kept making videos about it, kept posting about it, and eventually it resulted in the sickest video in the world in which you're playing one of your songs, and over the course of the video, Dave Koz is texting you being like, all right, enough, fine, I'll do it. And you use your like sky miles to fly him out. And it ends with like the video like pans over to Dave Koz has been in the studio, just absolutely rips the sickest solo in the world. And you're so happy. And you could just sit around being like, man, it'd be cool to do some shit with Koz, but instead you made it happen. It's like, I'm such a believer in better to be too much than to be too little.
Sure.
If you were just like a chill dude, that doesn't happen. So I'm sure that there was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that goes into stuff like that, but I feel like you have a million of those things.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to pinpoint any superpower that I have, it's probably ambition. Maybe for better or worse, but like you're saying, I think mostly for better. And I think my secondary superpower would be committing to the bit. And with the Koz thing, it was just kind of funny because we were on tour somewhere. I think we had just gotten done headlining in LA or something, some big show, and we were backstage watching some YouTube videos, as one does. And there was just some video of Dave Koz that popped up. And I was like, dang, this band is kind of killing. And somebody's like, yeah, but that's Dave Koz. They're smooth jazz. That's just like some BS. Like, it's smooth jazz. Smooth jazz sucks. I'm like, I mean, nobody's going to argue that. Nobody of our age group is going to argue that. But the thing I am going to argue is Dave Koz is an incredible sax player. I might not like most of his albums, and I don't really want to listen to it when I'm sitting in my dentist's office waiting room, but the guy can play live. The guy's an incredible player. So I went on this, like you're saying, I went on this weird journey where it's like, I actually don't know if I'm joking or not, but I'm going to commit to playing with Dave Koz. And then I was too deep on the bit where I'm like, frick, I don't know whether I'm joking or not anymore. He doesn't know whether I'm joking or not. My audience doesn't know whether I'm joking or not. And then I think that whole tension played into it where it's like, I don't know what's going to happen. And then it ended up being really fun and really great. And I think it's a testament to Dave, being a legit elite level musician and just a cool dude who's down. He's like, I think you're taking the piss out of me. I think I'm the butt of a joke right now. But like, I'm also pretty sure that I'm in on it. Like that I'm down, like that it's fun. I just like that somebody would use me as the butt of their joke. And I was like, yeah, I don't know whether I'm joking or not. And like, it's turned into this amazing friendship and even mentorship, you know, as him who's been in the industry for so long and who's done so much is like become a great friend and mentor to me and my band. And that kind of stuff is just like, oh, this is insane how this turned out. And if it was somebody who was a total dick, it would have gone haywire in some weird way. And then actually I could have ended up looking like a total dick also. And I think that sort of vulnerability, the ambition and the commitment to that bit and just the fact that it was cool ended up being great.
If you had said that you just really wanted to play with Don Henley, your career would be fucked. He would have sued you 800 times. Like, it would be like really just like bad, dark time. He would have a Fender sponsorship instead of you. He would have taken everything. But that story reminded me of a story that I'm going to butcher because I don't totally remember it perfectly. But there's a song that I love by Thundercat, Kenny Loggins, and Michael McDonald called Show You the Way. It's smooth as hell. And it came to be, I believe, because Thundercat in a magazine interview was like, if you could collaborate with any artist, who would it be? And he was like, Michael McDonald, no doubt. And like they didn't follow up on it or whatever. And Michael McDonald's people saw it, showed it to Michael McDonald, and Michael McDonald was like, this guy's probably making fun of me, but I like Thundercat. But like Thundercat is the biggest Steely Dan dude in the world.
Oh yeah.
And so they reached out and Thundercat was like, no, I want to make like some fucking yacht rock with you. And they were like, let's get Loggins on the track. And they made an amazing song.
So good.
And if it weren't, like great point about Koz being like, I might be being made fun of here, but this doesn't seem like a bad guy. And he definitely doesn't seem like a bad player.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
Yeah.
Proceed.
Simply put, it sounds like you guys just kind of matched each other's freak.
Absolutely. And the other thing is, a lot of these celebrities that are comfortable in themselves and that are actually legit, many of them have released the toxic parts of ego years ago, where it's like somebody like Michael McDonald, he has nothing to prove anymore. Kenny Loggins, he doesn't have anything to prove. Cause is the same way, you know, like those guys they're ace musicians, they're incredible artists, they've done their thing. It's like at this point, I got nothing to prove. If these guys like me, cool. If not, fine. If they know who I am. Actually, speaking of Loggins, and whether they know who am or not, sorry to sidetrack this. I was playing the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival a couple years ago, and I was staying at a nice hotel in New Orleans, and I go down to the hotel bar, and I'm hanging there, just like I was getting ready, waiting for the shuttle or whatever. We had like rides that would bring us to the festival. I'm hanging, eating, having a drink, and this older dude comes up to the bar and sits down next to me. He's like, "Oh, hey, you're that guitar guy." I was like, "Oh yeah, hey, what's up?" He goes, "Yeah, I was coming into the hotel with some of my buddies, and they were saying they really like your music." And I was like, "Oh, cool, thanks, blah, blah, blah." You know, sometimes have interactions like this with fans. Sometimes they're weird. Sometimes they're totally cool. It's like, "Oh yeah, you seem like a put together dude. You're at this nice hotel. You're hanging." Oh, well, he's asking me about what I'm doing and when I'm playing at the festival. He's like, "Oh, cool. I'll come check you out tonight." I was like, "Oh yeah, great, great. What else are you, what are you here in town for? Are you here just for the festival? Or are you blah, blah?" He's like, "Oh no, I'm actually playing tomorrow too." I was like, "Oh, cool. Well, what time are you playing? Maybe I'll be able to come catch your set too. Like I don't know what's going on, but I'll let you know." He's like, "Oh, I'm playing at like 5:30. I was like, "Oh, what band are you playing with?" He's like, "Oh, I'm Kenny Loggins." I was like, "Oh, ah." And I just put my head down. I was like, "I'm sorry, man." He's like, "To be honest, I love these interactions. I can tell that you're genuinely like a dude who loves music and is passionate about what you do. I know that you know my music. It's fine that you didn't know what I look like. Like we're just two guys hanging out." And then we hung out for a little while longer. He came to my show and I came to his show and we said hi and hung out. He's a great dude. But I just, for whatever reason, I didn't recognize him when I saw him, and great guy.
That's unbelievable. I love that.
And then you have to do like the backtrack, like, "You're fucking important to me,
Yeah,
man.
I know.
You're really important to me."
I mean, yeah, there's only so much coming back, but he could tell because he was asking bands that I love, and I brought up Steely Dan, so he knows I'm down with the whole thing, and it was just like, my bad.
It's nice that he was just sort of chill at the bar, because I wondered if he might be the type to cut loose.
Nice, good work.
Nice. That's
that's like B minus.
It's good.
Sort of in a similar vein, can you indulge me for a second and let me ask a very lame question, because I'm the biggest John Mayer guy in the world. Yeah. What is it like hanging out with John Mayer?
He is also the coolest. And that is coming. I'll preface that by this. You're going to hear stories of people who are public figures, or in this case with John, like an actual celebrity, right? You have some people that like, and I guess this is also true in the hockey world. Some people that are like legit celebrity hockey players, other people that are in the NHL that's like, oh yeah, I know that cat, but I might not know what they look like outside of their, without their jersey on. For me, like I am a public person, but only so far. Like I'm still what I would consider fairly niche. Like if you're a guitar player, sure, you might know who I am, and in certain realms, but I'm not like pop culture celebrity in the way that like, Kenny
Loggins.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all. That was all my bad. But in the case of like somebody like John Mayer is, or like a Connor McDavid, right? So people that are just like actual celebrities. My interactions with John are very much, we're two guitar players hanging out. I don't I grew up as a huge John Mayer fan. I still am. But our interactions started as him asking me about stuff about guitar. He knew that I was a fan. He had heard some interviews and he knows that I'm just like in the guitar community. But our conversations were always about guitar gear, or, oh, what do you like about this Stratocaster versus this? Oh, have you tried this amp versus this? hey, how about these tubes? You know, it's like this nerdy, like, hey, do you like the 12AX7 or the 12A or the AT7s on this amp? Oh, well, do you like these in an AC30 or a twin reverb? Oh yeah, but really you should check out the response time of this Dumble amp. It almost feels like solid state, but it has all the great qualities of a tube. Blah, blah, blah. It's like these sort of conversations that you're not going to get into with just the average civilian. You know, there's a certain like guitar nerd personality that you have to be able to want to go deep on these conversations. And that's been our interaction. So hanging out with him is really fun because, you know, he's got all the gear that's fun and multiples of a lot of it. And so we can talk about it. And, you know, we have our own experience. We respect each other's artistry, and we have a kindred spirit in the Stratocaster realm. So it's fun to just have a person that's at that level to just hang and talk music with, you know, that
Since you mentioned nerding out on tone, so like, do you text him after you hear Guess I Just Feel Like? Because that was like I Googled a million things about how do you get your guitar to sound like that. And when I found out the answer was just fucking buy a Champ and be John Mayer, I was very bummed out.
I mean, that's also part of it is I've heard him plug into several amps and it's just like, oh, that sounds like John Mayer. You know, like I hear myself plugging into other people's gear and I'm like, I don't know, I just sound like me. And I think for most people in the gear quest, at a certain point, you're just looking for the thing that brings out your voice with the least amount of friction. Like what's going to be the easiest thing for me to do my thing on? And also sometimes it's what's going to draw something different out of me. Like, I'm playing a Stratocaster through this rig a couple hundred days a year. Maybe a few days a year. It's fun to play whatever random, like this is why I have all these guitars here. It's like, I don't know, today this might pull something out of me different for whatever reason. And yes, at the end of the day, it also still just sounds like me, but I'm approaching it in a different way because I'm hearing something different. But, you know, somebody like John, he plugs into a Champ and he just sounds like himself in a different way.
He's incredible. Do you know that, are you a Ween fan at all?
Oh, I'm down with Ween. Dean Ween is great.
Do you know the story of Dean's transdermal celebration solo?
I don't.
They were recording the album. It was on was it on Quebec maybe? But they were recording that album and they got tipped off by one of their buddies who like worked in security for something.
Oh wait, and they took Santana's amp or something?
They broke into the storage unit because Santana was going to be on like the Today Show the next day.
Yes.
And someone was like, yo, like no one can find out about this, but Santana's shit is in storage right now at whatever. And I'm just saying it's in unit whatever. So they broke in, I think like clipped the lock, plugged in all of Santana's gear, brought like a fucking like digital recorder, plugged it in, played the guitar solo with Santana's PRS through Santana's rig, got the fuck out of Dodge, and that's what made the track. So cool.
That is insane. And the fact that they like years later are like, yeah, we did this.
That's the most rock and roll thing in the world.
That's incredible.
We stole Santana's shit and put it back.
We need to make the Ocean's 11 version of that.
Last thing I want to ask to kind of like bridge the hockey and John Mayer and all these musicians things. We had Baio from Vampire Weekend on. Chris Baio is a great bass player and a big New York Rangers fan, so probably not having the best time right now. And we were like, who else in the music game is into hockey? Is it just like you, Tate McRae, and one other person on a group text who's into hockey? So I want to run through some names, and it's all going to lead up to one big one, but like, is Joe Dart, for example, I would think he'd be a Red Wings guy. Are any of the Vulfpeck dudes into hockey?
Yeah, I mean, I think absolutely, Jacob Jeffries and Jack Stratton are big Panthers guys.
Whoa! Jack Stratton being a Panthers guy fits his personality so well.
Yeah. And Jack
I don't even
actually
know if that's an insult.
well, Jeffries is from Fort Lauderdale area. So he's been a Panthers fan since he was a kid. So he's having a heyday. Like I'm looking to have the feeling that he's been feeling for the last few years. Like I'm looking because that's been a journey for them. I'm looking for that feeling. So he's been on cloud nine, and him and Jack were just watching a ton of games over the last few years together because they both live in LA. So they'd go to some of the sports bars that would play the games. And when I was, we'd go watch all these, when they were on both cup runs, we'd be watching games in LA, wherever places would put the game on. So Jack became a fan of the Panthers. Both those guys love the Panthers. Jacob is super into hockey, and Joey Dosick is a very, very big sports guy. Mm-hmm. Basketball is his diehard, but he loves sports. So he's another one where just randomly, like he's not necessarily a hockey guy, but he'll text me randomly about certain things like Wild Game or whatever. And like when the Panthers came to play the Kings last year with Vulfpeck, we rented a suite and we were hanging out at that, and Joey was cheering for the Kings, and just because he grew up in LA, and but Dart, I know. Oh wait, actually, before we get to Dart, Stratton played hockey growing up with the Kelsey brothers.
What? Really? Wow. Damn.
That is.
Yeah,
we're going to get like a bajillion views now just because we're going to post anything that has to do with the Kelsey brothers. We never get to talk about those guys.
I don't remember if it was squirt hockey, what it was, but Jack was playing hockey growing up in the Cleveland area and was on a team with the Kelsey brothers.
That's amazing. Damn. That's the big three right there. That rocks. No, I could see
the big three, Stratton and the Kelsey brothers.
I could see Jack Stratton loving the Panthers, and I could definitely see him kind of identifying with Sasha Barkov, because I would assume he's got to be like the band leader and like the MD and everything, right?
Yeah.
And he's kind of do it all. He's mixing, he's playing every instrument, like really making sure he is truly like a jack of all trades and master of all of them. And that's kind of what Sasha Barkov is. So that makes sense for me. So Dart, you're not sure on Red Wings?
I haven't really had much hockey convo with Dart.
I'm guessing no on John Mayer, because John Mayer shares his passions. He'll wear them on his sleeve.
Yeah.
And Connecticut lost their hockey team.
Oh, so maybe that's why. I could see him being a Whalers guy.
Yeah.
But you're never talking hockey with Mayer?
I haven't talked. I know he's down with baseball. He's a Mets guy.
Oh, he's a Mets guy? Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. The one I wanted to build to, because I know that you play with like Bland and a lot of those guys, to your knowledge, was Prince a hockey fan?
I never talked hockey with Prince. We never got that far.
But you talked with Prince. So like Prince, you were, I know that you were in like Prince's world. I just didn't know if like timing wise
he used to come see my band play. I would see him at the clubs and stuff in the Twin Cities, and he would invite a bunch of the music scene. Like we were invited to Paisley Park a bunch of times for different events. I don't know, because I mean, I think had Norm Green made some different decisions in the early 90s and the Stars stayed in Minnesota, he probably would have had a closer thing. But also, just culturally, where he grew up in North Minneapolis, it wasn't much of a hockey neighborhood. Although I learned this from doing Wong on Ice. Sonny T, who was Prince's first guitar teacher, but played bass in Prince's band, and then has also played in my band a bunch. He's the one sitting on the Zamboni in Wong on Ice. When we did that, I had no idea that Sonny had any experience in a hockey rink. He's like, "Oh, dude, my first job, I worked at a hockey rink." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I used to be the one who would like give skates to people. I'd like help the kids put on their skates. I'd help them get the rental skates and this and that." So I know that they were aware of hockey, and again, being in Minnesota, but I will have to ask Bland and Sonny about whether Prince was a hockey guy or not.
It would be a huge scoop for us if we were to be able to drop the Prince liked hockey. It'd be very, very big for us. You know, we like Bieber, that's on record. Tate McRae, that's on record. You got Bayo on record. But if we were to get Prince, that would really kind of trump all.
I mean, famously, the Wild made "Let's Go Crazy" their goal song after Prince died, which I don't think they ever should have changed.
Yeah,
but
is it Shout now?
I don't know what it is.
It's
Shout.
which like
Shout's
banger.
good. I mean, it's yeah.
It does stink though. Like it's or it must be humbling that you've done incredible things in music. You've done incredible things in hockey because you are from Minnesota. If they go with like the big music from Minnesota, there's like 6 million Prince songs people are going to be throwing up there before they're getting to The Optimist or any of your bangers.
Yeah, I'm going to have to start writing specifically for hockey celebration tunes. I'm going to have to. I might have to go on a full cause style campaign.
Dude,
I mean,
going.
Unfortunately, the precedent has been set. You just got to die first. They didn't use "Let's Go Crazy" when Prince was alive. We'll just say that.
Well, let's maybe I take the easier route and I maybe I take the actual hockey player method and I start out in the AHL. Maybe we test things out with the Iowa Wild.
Yes.
Maybe get a little two-way going, work my way into the league.
There you go.
Yeah. You'd be like, all right, I'm going to license this to you for like 800 thou.
Yes.
I don't need big money or 800 thou when you're playing, if you play it in the NHL.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it's happy to ride the buses. Cory, I can't believe you came on. It's so cool that you did. So happy for you that the Wild are doing their thing. Could be a cup year. If it is, we'd love to have you back.
I would be stoked. I'm excited to see what happens. I appreciate you guys having me on. Always happy to chat. Let's do it again.
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to What Chaos here on YouTube. You will get everything, daily episodes, player interviews, and so much more. It's all here on the What Chaos YouTube. Hit subscribe.